Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelorette Recaps, a guys review. We've got last night's Week 4 episode to recap for you guys right now. No jump cuts, no edits, just me reading my notes that I took during last night's chaotic episode. We saw one villain leave, another possibly emerge, and also, right before last night's episode, we had breaking news where we actually caught it live on the pre-episode live stream. Here's my reaction to last night's breaking news as we found it. I'll just play this for a second. If you guys want to watch the full video, you can go check it out after this video here. But here's my reaction to finding out Madison Pruitt just got engaged. Right here, $2 super chat says, Maddie Pruitt is engaged to the rich guy Garrett. That's not his name. Maddie Pruitt is engaged? Hold on, folks. Let's go to Maddie Pruitt here. Did this just come out? Oh my gosh. One more. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen. So you can go watch that whole thing. I found out live. Hey, it's always fun to find out live. And also, I'll be on Patreon today, 10 a.m. Pacific time, with behind-the-scenes content. I'll give you my full, unfiltered thoughts on everything going on in the Bachelor world. Plus, at noon today, I'm going to be unboxing my wedding, I was going to say wedding dress, my wedding suit that I just got custom made. I'm going to unbox that for you guys at noon Pacific time, so go check that out. All right, let's get into it. Hayden is in the hot seat for saying Gabby was rough around the edges. The other guys find out, and they're like, yeah, that's kind of rough. Hayden's response was, he goes, look, Gabby told me she was rough around the edges twice, and then I was just using her words. And listen, everything that happened after that, Hayden issues an apology. We'll get into that in a separate video, but it was a rough look, because then you got a guy who's being defensive. Clearly, he's trying to, slam them so that he looks better. It just doesn't come off well. Hayden says, well, bitch, maybe you shouldn't use that word to describe yourself then. And of course, digging a hole, not going well. You know me, always trying to find a way to side with someone who might be getting a bad edit, but not looking good for him last night. A rough night. In the previous week, he apologized too, so we got our second week in a row of Hayden going, very sorry for what I said. I was hungry. This is where Snickers should come in and just be like, I just, didn't have my Snicker. You know what I mean? With that Snickers commercial. All right. Ever get a bad edit on a dating show? Should have had a Snickers. All right. So then he says they don't hold a candle to her, meaning his ex. Yikes. Then Meatball says you shouldn't speak about women like that at all. And we're like, oh boy, Meatball's going to come in and snitch. But of course, the producers are like, but let's just save that for the end of the episode. Producers do not miss a chance to stretch out a storyline, if you know what I mean. Rachel mentions how hurtful and embarrassed it was to have 3 men reject her rose. Most embarrassing thing to ever happen to her, she says. And my thought was, getting rejected is the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to you? You've never crapped your pants in school? Oh my gosh. Oh, it must be very nice that there's nothing more embarrassing than getting rejected on national TV. But I understand the point. Jesse Palmer spits some good French to the men. His French is very good. There he is on the Virgin Voyage. A beautiful backdrop right there. These Canadians, they're just more cultured than us. Look, we have to admit it. Americans, United States of America here. We're not cultured. We don't speak multiple languages. No, well, I learned Spanish. Look, I'm just saying, relatively speaking, when I travel abroad and see my European friends, they got 7 languages like they're, Jason Bourne. And here Jesse Palmer's like, oh, bonjour, ça va bien? Je suis Canadien, je parle multiple languages. I don't know, I messed some of that up, but you get the point. So poutine for Jesse Palmer. The boys love their new ship. Rightfully, it's amazing. They got, it's, you know how it is. They get some new hotel. They're staying at Nemacolin in Pennsylvania. They're like, oh, cool, a hotel. Oh, amazing. They've got windows. Cool. The bathroom's nice. But here they're like, we're on a boat, bitch. You know what I mean? Hayden's like, whatever, comparing it to his previous boats or whatever you would do if you were Hayden. The boys love their new ship. It's when it isn't a bunch of, normal cruise goers, it's a nice... Look, cruises are great. The problem with cruises, it's the people that go on cruises. That's the problem with cruises. I love a cruise. I just don't like people that would go on a cruise. Do you understand? Do you guys get the point? They get in your way, Just a bunch of people farting in an elevator. You can just, recirculate the farts. You're like, what's for dinner? Spaghetti. Smells like spaghetti. The one-on-one dates begin. Rachel and Tino, they got their one-on-one dates. There they go. Very nice. They don't do anything too stereotypical. Psych, they make a crepe. They do crepes. And then I'm going on Amazon searching for crepe carts. Did you do that? I was like, okay, I can buy a crepe cart. I'm like, I'm getting married in 73 days. Maybe I'll put some crepe carts on the old registry there. Old crepe cart Dave. Next thing you know, I'll just have a nice little French beret on. Talk about stretching storylines. I got one right here for you. I tell you what, as soon as that wedding's over and I don't have to fit into that suit, I'm growing my hair out. Ponytail Dave's coming back, and I'm going to get a nice little, dad bod, because that's what you do. You get married, then you get a dad bod, then you have a couple kids. Some people do it at a faster timeline than others. Shout out Maddie Pruitt. Good for you. Okay, they go on one-on-one dates. There they are. By the way, what's your go-to thing for crepe? Because look, I know you throw Nutella in a crepe. You put Nutella in anything and it's good. Okay, I like a good crepe with some berries, maybe a little berries and some Cool Whips. You know what I mean? But again, Nutella, even a little peanut butter chocolate chip. Anyway, let me know what your go-to crepe option is. Gabby and Jason join Rachel and Tino to discuss their dates. Okay, so did I miss something? Gabby and Jason were on their date as well. Do we have a photo? I don't have a photo of them. And then Gabby says she can feel his warmth. Man, women love to steal men's warmth. My lady, whenever she's feeling a little cold, she'll take her little ice pick fingers and put them in my warm skin and then just suck all the warm air out of me. You know what I mean? So she's got those it feels like she sticks her toes in the freezer before getting into bed and just comes in and it's like, do women harvest warm energy or are they just vampires and suck it from us? Let me know. Leave a comment. Dave, you're just generalizing. I know. They're jokes. Rachel says she's scared. Rachel's date says it was perfect. She feels strong feelings for him. She says this early on is terrifying, which is confusing to me. She's had some really strong dates, and yet she's so hung up on some of the guys that don't like her. And I understand, not wanting to be rejected, and you want everything to be, people liking you, but this kind of reflects the real world. Not everyone's just going to be into you. You know what I mean? Trust me, from experience. People in the comment section, you got that right. We're barely here. We're just here because the other person we like hasn't updated their recap video yet. What do they say? A hard work is better than skill if skill doesn't work hard. What is that? How does that go? Rachel tells Tino how much the rose ceremony sucked. Now that they are in their formal evening portion of their date, she says her last relationship wasn't supportive of her career. She says her ex was afraid she would cheat. I mean, look, hey, here's the deal. Pilots and comedians cheat. Now, I'm a comic. I don't cheat, but I know a bunch that do. They travel in the world. They're insecure. Pilots are the same way. Pilots drink alcohol, and they have sex with people in different cities. Not all of them. I'm just saying their job is literally the booty call vehicle. You know what I mean? They're like a mechanic, a plumber, someone who works in a local environment, they drive van to van, fine. You got someone who's all of a sudden they're in the Bahamas for 3 days, sitting by the airport bar, and then you got some, bachelorette that just got stood up at the altar, being like, what do you do? I'm a pilot. I'd like to ride your plane. Oh my God. Next thing you know, hey, not everybody, I know. Men are dirtbags, is the point. Okay. Rachel tells Tino, we got that part. Tino and Rachel both agree they want a family. Hey, that's a good step. They want a family. She says, this is the easiest rose I've ever had to give. And then Tino accepts the rose. Okay, Gabby's evening with Jason. Do I have that photo? I guess I don't. I don't have the photo. Gabby's evening with Jason. She tells a story of how her mom and her have fallen out, how therapy taught her to love and receive love. Jason and Gabby both share they have a good intuition about each other. She gives him the rose in the belief that this may go somewhere. She says she never thought she'd be deserving to find someone, and now it's right in front of her face. All right, so then Rachel starts to see that Gabby's falling in love, and maybe Rachel starts to worry a little bit. Maybe Rachel's a worrier. She's worrying oh, what if Gabby finds love and I don't? It's one of those things. Hey, this is what happens when you have multiple bachelorettes. Group date, love conquers all, but not without a fight. That's what they say. And of course, there they are. Yosef's daughter is I don't know if she'd be okay with this. At least they're wearing shorts when they fight. I think if they were wearing Speedos and fighting, we wouldn't be okay with it. But shorts is all right. So it's a French boxing match. Faire du boxing, je pense. They got a spar while smoking cigarettes and drinking wet red wine. Oh, no, they don't. That's not. Okay, that's what I would think of French boxing match. Do you want to take the first round? No? Just throwing brie at each other. Winner of the boxing match, they're just, throwing free healthcare at each other. All right, jab at the U.S. winner of the boxing match, because here's the deal. I remember, listen, I studied abroad in France. I love the French. And I remember we go, oh, those lazy French, right? That's what we say, lazy French. Did you know I learned this? Independent studies have shown that the French actually are more productive per work hour than Americans. The problem with American culture is that we think like a 9 to 5, right? Really becomes like a 7:30 to 6, right? Like we have this idea that we got to work all these long hours, but the French seem to live a perfectly healthy life, not maxing it out. I worked for a Frenchman once, and we would always take these nice hour-long lunches and have a great meal and everything. And I'm like, how many people are watching my video right now, eating your lunch? I'm calling you out while getting work done at your corporate job. I'm just saying, we have this culture that we've been sold this bill of hard work, but I feel like we need to get better at smart work. And also the French are really good at unionizing and striking. Fait d'auto-stop. They're good at striking when it comes to trying to get social change. And maybe we could learn a lesson from them. Oh boy, I really triggered some of you guys eating your freedom fries right now. I just feel like we've let down the French. All right. Rachel, but whatever. Okay. Rachel takes her men to watch Gabby's men. I have family that are French, and they're great people. Love the French. Rachel takes her men to watch Gabby's men beat each other up. I have to say, this is the nicest set they've ever had for a date. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming this was they already had this set up in the Virgin Cruise Line. If they didn't, they did a really good job with it. Jesse Palmer is the ring announcer, and he's great. Jesse Palmer, he's multifaceted. He's speaking French to them. He's the ring announcer. I don't know if he's getting enough credit for the work he's doing. I think he's doing a good job. Rachel is mad that her men aren't making eye contact with her during Gabby's date. Okay. This is where the internet takes over, and I don't think it's nice to just pile on, but obviously the internet feasted on Rachel after this one. They're like, "What? Way to make it about you, Rachel." But here's the deal, you know what I mean? When the Bachelorette should be the center of the attention, it's hard when you're not. So she's having a hard time when it's not her time to shine. And boy, the edit let you guys know that. The producers definitely played up that card. So they decide to make this whole Gabby group date a pity party for Rachel. Gabby chooses Spencer as the winner. And by the way, that's exactly what the producers did. They made this a pity party for Rachel. They included the crying and the editing. I mean, that's on them. They did all that. They didn't have to do that. But the producers, they're not loyal to anybody but drama. Rachel says Clayton made her feel more wanted than these guys do. Whoa. She was like, at least Clayton liked me. You know what I mean? Yikes. Hey, there's some truth there. Rachel storms in on her guys. She goes, "You guys have made me upset." I'm like, oh boy. That's like when you're joking around and your teacher starts crying and you're like, "Oh, where's Mrs. Rachel, we're sorry. We didn't mean to make you cry. We were just having fun." Rachel storms in. She says, "You make me feel hurt and unseen." She says, "I'm so over this. I'm so done." And then she storms out and the guys are like, well, I guess we could have done something better. I don't think that the guys are all, I actually think the guys were all very sweet because the guys were like, they could have been like, boy, what got up her ass? But they were like, I guess we could have dogged her. I didn't really know. I mean, we were told we were going to go watch the boxing. We were cheering our guys on. Our guys were fighting each other for them. We just thought, so they're all sweet trying to figure out what they did wrong. And it's like, listen, guys, you did nothing wrong. I talked about this on the live stream. Rachel's got some tendencies like Claire in the sense that I think in group settings, there's a lot more anxiety happening there and a lot more, look, you call someone a brat. I don't think that's the most evolved way of thinking. I think there's triggers that happen to the limbic system in certain settings. Rachel already mentioned she gets super, she was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to her was when she was rejected 3 times in front of the crowd. She didn't say the most embarrassing that ever happened to her is that she was rejected. She said in front of the crowd. And also, no one's coming to talk to me. I'm sitting all alone. It triggers that feeling like no one will eat lunch with you when you're in 5th grade. I get it. I understand. Let's unpack that, Rachel. And I'm sure by going on this show, people will get a real graduate level course on what triggers them, and hopefully they get the mental health help that we all need and can sort of be a better version of yourself after that. Okay, Rachel's group date happens right after that. She starts with a French couple making out. They experience the art of romance, if this is what romance is called. Go for it. The guys had to show Rachel their intimacy. It feels wrong. They French kiss their own fists. I need a cigarillo. I was like, oh boy, this is not that attractive. Logan walks away from the group date thinking about Gabby. Oh boy, cue that thought process. Oh, I got a lot to get to. Logan chats with Jesse and says he doesn't think he can move forward with Rachel, so they do that whole thing. We'll see how that goes. They tease it. Hayden shows Rachel his dog Rambo, says his dog is one of the most important things in his life. He says his dog only has a few months left, has a brain tumor, tells Rachel this to show her he is there for the right reasons. Hayden then is bitter that Rachel didn't give him more time after the conversation, and all I have to say about that is, woof. Meatball sits down to snitch on Hayden. This case of snitching seems valid. Sometimes we're like, is it worth the snitching? But, Meatball seems like he had enough evidence to come forward with his snitching. Meatball tells Rachel with Hayden said, I don't trust these bitches, and Hayden compared his ex's boobs to Rachel's. Look, I didn't hear all of this in a continual setting, so I don't know what to judge. It seems like a lot to me, but, these are words that came out of his mouth. Rachel says, I'm going to go have a conversation. Oh, boy. One of the guys goes, that doesn't look like a happy Rachel. Rachel pulls Hayden aside and asks if he knows why she pulled him aside. Feels like when a cop pulls you over. Do you know why I pulled you over? No. Is it for the cocaine in the trunk? No, you had your left blinker out. You know what I mean? Do you know why I pulled you? Do you know why I'm talking to you? Because I cheated on you? No? Okay. Well, because I missed Hayden denies the accusations. Rachel walks him out, surprising how calm she is. Yeah, Rachel is very calm there. Hayden has to walk off the boat. And does he take a train to Charles de Gaulle? Does he take the TGV? How does Hayden get home from a boat in France? I'd like to know this. Hayden says he wants Rambo more and is blessed to have Rambo, who loves him unconditionally. Then Rachel marches back. And I love that this all goes down on a giant mega cruise ship. Look, that's a lot of steps to walk. They got to walk all the way back, a ton of steps. Rachel gives her rose to Logan. He accepts, but Logan obviously throughout the episode said, I wanna pursue Gabby, but at the same time the producers are like, let's not let Logan talk to Rachel this episode. We already have a villain. So they're gonna stretch it out for one more episode. We'll see how that all goes. And now, without further ado, if you didn't watch last night's live streams, I'm premiering a new trailer on my channel. I'm going to play that trailer for you guys right now. And then if you guys are interested, you can go over to my Patreon where I'll have my live stream. That's at patreon.com/Dave Neal. Thank you so much for watching this recap. More content coming your way today. Tons of content on the way. So here's my response to a sort of passive-aggressive comment I received this weekend.
I have been wondering this so much lately. Like, how did Dave Neal rise to prominence in the YouTube space when there are so many women who cover the show with such thought and nuance?
In a world of mediocrity, where the cocktail parties keep getting canceled, a power recap empire like no other. Prepare to digress. Prepare to be disgruntled. Prepare to be informed. Prepare to be entertained. Oh my god. Rise your finger up and onto the like button. Prominent this video an odd number of times. It's time to rise with prominence with Bachelor Nation News. And your host, the one, the only, Dave Neal!